Okay, today I'm going to see about getting the oil pan back on. It's been a long time, but seems like tied up with other things, plus want to make sure I get this job done right. So a few things I found out while doing some reading. Packard had talked about that when you have low or high oil, well, if high or low oil pressure, that's how it starts out. So things you need to look at is oil pressure relief valve piston isn't sticking, or we're not seating. Okay, I haven't done anything with the oil pump yet, so I'm not worried about that. Worn oil pump gears. Clogged oil filter inlet screen. So that's been cleaned. Matter of fact, that screen is set up so that if it does get clogged, it sucks in, and there's a hole in the middle of the screen that is a bypass that allows the oil to go through. But hopefully your screen will never get that bad, and mine won't either. Leaking connection at oil inlet tube. I got a gasket in there now, so shouldn't have any problem there. And then, of course, the one everybody looks at more than anything else is loose main or connecting rod bearings. That's usually what everybody thinks of whenever they see a low oil pressure problem. And the funny thing is, it's not the way they describe it. It's not the oil pressure that you're looking for, but it's oil flow. But what you get is a restriction of oil flow, which gives you the oil pressure. So I guess if you don't have any. When you don't have any oil pressure, that means there's no restriction to oil flow and the oil's just running through like crazy. And then, of course, your pump on your oil pump, if your cover gasket is too thick, that could cause too much oil to flow by the gears. So that's pretty much the deal about getting it all set up, and make sure before I put the oil pan on that at least my screen is clean and the tube is in place with the gasket. And one other thing that I'd like to bring up is when I was talking about using your torque wrench. If anybody's have a subscription to CarCraft, which I do, this month. Let's see, I say this month. They usually come out. This is April 2013. They talk about using torque wrenches and how you should always set them at the lowest value, because they took one torque wrench and left it set, and after about a week or two, something like that, how much the adjustment they lost on the value of the torque. And they were using Harbor Freight torque wrenches, comparing them with Craftsman torque wrenches, also in this article. So just a tidbit of information. I enjoy reading, see what all I can figure out, and new stuff I can learn. So I went over, bought some brake cleaner, cleaned off the surface of my pan. Plus went underneath the block here and cleaned off the bottom of the block, so I'm ready to install, or put the gasket on and install the pan. Found my bag of let's see, was it 28 oil pan nuts, bolts, I should say, not nuts, bolts and washers. So I got those all set up. That's one of the nice things about bagging this stuff. You just grab it with the bag and you're ready to go. So let me get that gasket on now. Okay. I told you last time that the gasket set came from Best Gasket. It's best to lay your gasket out. Make sure all the holes line up real good. They gotta be all looking good, because it turns out, I guess this is a pretty generic gasket set, because they give you a couple other pieces here for the pan, and it turned out the holes didn't line up. So I got me an extra set of pan gaskets for something else. So make sure you double check you have all the right pieces, and then the holes line up pretty good, I have to say so. So let's work on putting a little silicone sealer on here. Okay, I find it doesn't really take much silicone sealer. I don't really like to put like a little piece down, like a little strip along there, like so. And then what I do next is I work it across, all the way across, and that seems to be good enough to seal it. If not, I'll learn next time to use a little bit more, but this usually works out pretty good. So what I'll do is I'll do both sides, this side, and then get the other side, and plus I've already got this one that's tacked on there. Since I can get this one, that one down there, and that one down there, then I'll go ahead and install it. So nothing exciting to see here, so I'll just go ahead and stop and take up once I get this all the silicone on. Okay, there I got the gasket back on, RTV on. I guess you can say just follow the old commercial for the Brill cream. A little dab would do it. I had my glove on, so I could just go ahead and go along and work it in as I moved along, because RTV likes to seem to stick pretty good to skin. So now I'm ready to install this, and I'll get back with you on that now. Okay, as I said, I took the brake cleaner and cleaned off the surface so it's all free of dirt and oil. One other thing I was wanting to do is I didn't torque this down. So let me go ahead and torque this down while we're down here. There we go. That's set for 15 foot-pounds. There we go. Okay, that's all torqued down. Now to install the oil pan. It's going to be a little tricky, so I'm going to have to pause the camera for now. Okay, I got the oil pan sitting on. I put a couple bolts here, one each side, just to hold in place while I talk a little bit. It took a little bit of working back and forth because the way the oil pickup is in it to get it in the right position, because you have the trays inside, so it took a little bit, but it wasn't bad. Now what I'll do next here is go along here and check, make sure my gasket hadn't moved. Looks like the gasket's still in good position here. Back here too. Yep, gasket looks like it's still, oh, it's like might have moved, shifted a little bit there, but that's, yeah, up there, I don't know if you can see it up there, it's shifted a little bit, so I'll have to reposition just a little bit, but I'll do that as I get up there. So let me pause for now and carry on. Okay, now let's get things moving here. I'm going to do a lot of starting and stopping here so I can move on, but remember, in order to get the oil pan off, I took the idle arm bolts out, and so I was able to drop the arm down so I get the pan out. Now since I got the pan back up, we'll go ahead and put those bolts in. Torque them later, but I'll just get them in there so that way the arm is on my way for now. Oh, one more thing, like I said, I tried to keep everything bagged so that way it's easier to find. So I got my 2 bolts in my bag ready to go, so I know I got exactly the parts on hand that I need. So let me get that installed. Okay, for now I just got the bolts in there, so it just gets the arm up out of my way so I can carry on here. I picked up a inch-pound torque wrench for torquing the bolts down on the oil pan here. The requirement was, let's see, 15 to 18 foot-pounds, which works out to 180 to 216 inch-pounds. So right now I'm going to go with 90 inch-pounds to just snug them down. And I did a little reading, and they say to start, or at least I guess with anything like the head and stuff, we got multiple bolts, you need to have some sort of a pattern. So the only thing I could find was on one website. They suggest starting at the corner, take and torque that down, okay, and then work your way in as you're going along. Make sure you get the four corners first. There's that corner. Then I'm going to have to move up front here and get them up front also. So for right now, I'm going to pause as I carry on with the torquing here. Okay, now I got the bolts snugged down. I'm going to start over at the end and start torquing these down, working this way in, and also going to the other end, working in on both sides, trying to keep it work from outside in. I've already added the 2 bolts and nut back here at the back, and like I said, I'll just be working on torquing these down until I get to the middle. So that's it for now. Okay, as I said, I went back and retorqued everything to 18 foot-pounds using the 3/8 inch torque wrench. And as before, I couldn't get up underneath here to get this one, so I just put my common wrench on there and tightened it down until I felt like it was where the torque was on the rest of it. So it's good to see I got the oil pan back on. Now I'll start putting the cover for the flywheel back on, and we'll go from there.